Greetings, Warlords. Welcome back to Conquest. This is the final round of the Conquest Summer Tournament, FFG only, that I organise. So, for this round, we have Zarathur against Kith. I am playing against ItsDrake, who is a well-known Kith player. I believe he's been playing Kith pretty much for the whole of Conquest's natural and unnatural life. So, unlike what was it? Spartan, who was running Kith with Eldar allies. I know that ItsDrake is running Kith with Chaos allies. So it's always interesting to see Kith with Chaos allies because you don't have all the great cards like Foretell and Warlock Destructor. Instead, you have the higher command unit ones like the Chaos Fanatics and Venomous Fiend, if you call that a command unit. I would personally, but it's certainly puts a threat on command. So that'll be interesting to see in this matchup. Besides that, it's just Kith again, good old Kith. So let's look at the first plans. We've got Therin, Osphor, Ivan, Eluith, Planum. So that means it's going to be a long game. We can't win until at least Planum. Probably good for me. Kith does get just natural value over time with the whole Chimera generation, but as long as I can, the longer the game goes, the more time I'll have to find my Mark of Chaos or my Gleeful Plague Beasts or some sort of area damage. So, let's look at my opening hand. I have the first player, I'm Initiative. And I have a Heretic Inventor, Splinter Path, Sowing Chaos, and Chaos Fanatics. So not the best opening hand. There are 3 blue planets, which is average for first planet layout. So Sowing Chaos could be fine, but he could also play around it, so might not do anything. At the very least, though, maybe if he just plays a bunch of command units turn 1, then I could Sowing Chaos him turn 2, and that will probably be good for me, even though he wins a bunch of command struggles. We also have Archon's Terror, Black Legion, Helldrake, and Zeech's Firestorm. So while this isn't a particularly great command hand, since we've only got 4 resources worth of units we can play, we can probably trade in the Sowing Chaos for at least a 1-cost command unit. Maybe a Slift Merc. And the Zeech's Firestorms and Archon Terror is still nice here, because, well, actually Archon's Terror doesn't do all too much. Maybe he pulls out a Bloodied Weavers, then I can Archon's Terror it for good value, but mostly it's going to just kill a Chimera or something. Not even really kill a Chimera, just sort of mildly inconvenience a Chimera. I think just Firestorm is much better. That'll let me deal with. Let me actually kill a Chimera, and I suspect I will have a lot of money this game as we have 2 resources, both of the 2 resources plans first, no cards on Ivan, and then Eluith and Planum being our only card draw ones. So that's fine. Hopefully if he plays a Slift Mercenary, I'll be able to buy it off him. So I don't think there's any point mulliganing his hand, because it could get much worse than it is right now. And this is a perfectly playable hand. Not a great hand, but it's playable. Oh, my keyboard is frozen, was it? No, I haven't copied the command. There we go. So I keep. What does he do? He mulligans. Okay, he didn't like his hand. So hopefully he's got another not great hand. So what am I going to do first? Well, we need to try to keep the units off of Planum in order to Sowing, or rather, we need to keep our units off the blue planets to try and Sowing Chaos. But it's quite difficult to do that here because we've only got Splintered Path, then Chaos Fanatics, and then we're out of turns unless we will sacrifice a Heretic Inventor. So I think personally that if I play a Heretic Inventor, he'll play a 2 command unit to Planum. And in that case, I think, what is it? I think that's an alright trade for me if I get to Sowing Chaos and kill his higher command unit. Not great, but maybe he'll then put another unit at Planum or Eluith, and then it'll actually be an upgrade. So first I'm going to do for starters. It's not great, yeah. If I had if I wanted to, I could actually Splinter Path, Black Legion, Helldrake to Therin, but chances are he's just going to Clave Exit or Archon's Terror me or something like that, so it's not really worth it. Right. Yeah, play Heretic. So what's he gonna do? And he moves it to Farron, so that's a little surprising, because that's just giving me a free battle ability. It's not a great battle ability, mind you, and perhaps he really wants Planum cleared for some reason. Maybe he has a Venomous Fiend and he's going to, what is it, send a Venomous Fiend somewhere, mobile it, and he's going to plan him to move the Fiend around more, deal more damage. Could certainly be a case. So I definitely think there are reasons to do this. I think if you're just going to send... I mean, Farron doesn't actually contribute to me winning the game at all, since there's only 2 red planets, so chances are whatever is even if I manage to take Ivan, it's not going to actually be the reasons I win the game, so I guess it's perfectly fine to just send it to Farron. Still don't like it because it is giving me a free route, and routing is quite good in this matchup because it will let me get rid of one command unit, and one command unit is a pretty big deal in this one. This is a very command heavy matchup. So let's see what he does. Rogue Trader to Elioth. Well, I can now cash in my Sowing Chaos for Rogue Trader. It's not a great return. I'm paying more for Sowing Chaos than he's paying for Rogue Trader, but it's still something, so won't look a gift horse in the mouth. For now, we don't have to follow up on Sowing Chaos. We can just play a guy to Ossus and see what happens. I think here we're best off playing Chaos Fanatics to Ossus, because that way he will not be... If I play a Splinter Path to Ossus, then he might play a 2 command unit to Ossus, which would be ignoring the blue planets I want him to deploy a unit to. So I should be playing the Chaos Fanatics to Ossus for in order to encourage him to make a mistake. That being said, I also don't think it's that wrong to put a Splinter Path Acolyte on Ossus for anyway, because I can always just Sowing Chaos just the Rogue Trade, and I'll be pretty much not completely happy with that. But he did mulligan his hand, so perhaps he's got a... Perhaps he doesn't have too many command units, in which case trading a Sowing Chaos for Rogue Trade at this point is a good deal. So let's see what I do. I do play with Splinter Path to Ossus 4, I assume. Yep. It's fine. I'm gonna get a lot of money on my command levels apparently, so that's good, because he's probably going to play a Slith Mercenary at some point in the game, and I'm going to need money to be able to buy those off of him. Ooh, that's another Rogue Trader to Blue Planet. So I may as well just play the Sowing Chaos now. I'm trading 1 card and 2 resources for 2 resources and 2 cards. That's just a great deal. There goes that. Got another Void Pirate he does. That's annoying, but I can send a Chaos Fanatics there, and I don't need to worry about... anything... any tech planets now, because that was the only Sowing Chaos that I had in my deck. Right, there goes Fanatics. Probably plays a promotion or something here. Nope, plays a Slith Mercenary to Ossus. That makes sense. Very annoying. It's going to get it's going to give us 2 resources, which are going to then make it even harder to buy his Slith Mercenaries back later. I pass because I don't have anything I can play. Another Slith Mercenary, curiously not deployed to Planum, but cards are pretty important, so not too surprising. And he plays a 3rd Slith Mercenary, so this is a disgusting turn 1 by him. We have 2 Rogue Traders, a Void Pirate, and 3 Slith Mercenaries. That's a lot of command units. It's okay, Sowing Chaos has kept me in the game somewhat, so I'm not going to be too mad about it, because yeah, if I didn't have that Sowing Chaos, I would be extremely dead right now. So, committing, where should we commit? So, I think that he's going to predict me going to either Ossus or Elioth. Maybe I go to Planum, but if I go to Planum... I'm going to win the battle there, even if he sends his wall there. And the Planum battle ability just isn't as useful to me as the other 2 abilities are. I think he could also predict me going to Ivan to try to get an Ivan trigger. I think it would be very risky of me, but he certainly could do that. So aside from that, I was thinking, where does he want to go? Because he has one card left in his hand. He's going to definitely get to draw at least 2 cards. Let's see if he gets to win. Anyway, if he gets to win Plan with a Void Pirate. So minimum 2 cards. One of those could be a Gut and Pillage. And if there's a Gut and Pillage, then good. He wants to go to a red planet. The only red planets right now are Therin and Ivan. So if he goes to Therin, I think that's completely fine for me. As long as I have at least one resource, because I will be able to play Archon's Terror throughout the Chimera. Well, I don't know if I'd really want to route the Chimera, I'll be honest. Because Therin isn't, it doesn't actually help us win the game at all. Yeah, actually, I think he's going to want to go to Therin, and then... Yeah, it's a hard choice, because really you want to protect with one of these card planets, so I think either you send Packmaster Kith to any of your planet, but you don't know which one I'm going to go to. And you could just go to Planum, but then if I go to Elioth, it's very annoying, and because you don't have a good... Well, you're going to have a Planum target, actually. You can just Planum whoever I fare into. Well, I'm going to fare into Chaos Fanatics, so yeah. Yeah, it's not great. I think regardless, I'm going to definitely go to one of these. I think I ended up going to Planum. Yeah, I think so. Even though it's worth less cards, it'll get to kill more of his units. And I do want to try to actually keep Slith Mercenaries around so I can buy them. Because I don't want to do it. I just feel like that's the right thing to do here. I need to try to starve him of value. Right, I think that basically sums up all my thoughts on Warlord committing this round. Either I'm going to plan more Elio if he doesn't really know which one. So it's 50-50 for him, but I could also go to Ossus, in which case I'm going to buy always Slith Mercenaries next round, which is also pretty bad. So it's really more of a 1 in 3 chance for him to get my Warlord committing location right, and even if he does do that, I'm still going to get to route his guy and then kill all the other ones. Potentially, anyway. So, yep, let's see what happens. So I went to Planum, he went to Ivan, so that's a little strange, but there's a good chance he has a Gut and Pillage, and Red is the only... What is it? Ivan is the only other red planet where Heretic Inventor isn't. Because if we went to Heretic Inventor, he'd have... He might just not join his shield cards, in which case he's gonna struggle to win that battle, even though he is playing Packmaster Kith. Kind of it. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. It's also the safe option, but it's neither here nor there. So I've drawn a Gut and Pillage, so that was lucky by me. I'll be able to use that to buy Slith Mercenaries. And that's kind of it. That's what you do with Slith. That's what you do with Gut and Pillage in this matchup here. So he doesn't take any actions, so I get to use Therin and my Gut and Pillage. Get to route, so what should I be routing here? I chose to route the Ossus for Slith Mercenaries because I'll be able to buy the Slith Mercenaries at Elioth, and if I instead routed the ones at Elioth and bought ones at Ossus, I'd be winning the command struggle at Ossus but not at Elioth. So I believe this is the right call. We definitely don't want to route either of these guys at Planum. He's going to get to use Ivan, but unfortunately for him, if he does do that, I have a Helldrake in my hand. And he does indeed use Ivan, so that's unfortunate for him. Next up, the battle here, I can pretty easily... Did I have sound effects on? No, I don't. John, good. Well, I have them on for me, but I don't have them in the recording. So, what's he going to do here? Just nothing really. He's just going to lose a lot of units. So actually, I should talk about the Ivan choker a bit. So I personally don't think Ivan is very good in this matchup because while Solar Activatus is really good against Eldar and some Chaoses, the problem is that I'm playing Zarathur, so that means I'm running Tzeentch's Firestorm. And Zinja's Firestorm is really good against us because even though it's unique and flying, Zinja's Firestorm, it just kills it. It doesn't need to. It's not like Archon's Terror, where part of the appeal of Solar Light Aretis is that Archon's Terror can't hit it. And also Doom can't hit it and things like that. I am in this matchup, Solar Light Aretis is much worse than the other cases. So I don't think they need to go to Ivan there. I guess it was the last card he had in his hand was Solar Light Aretis, but still. So, moving on, I get to use Planum, and I get to use this Helldrake. I think, yeah, also when he saw that I went to Planum, I don't think there's any point in him sending his, in him triggering Ivan, because if he does get it, well, I guess there is, because if he doesn't trigger Ivan, I'm going to get to use move for Heretic instead. It's, not easy. Send the Helldrake to Ossus. I don't think that's necessary. I think you could send it to Aerith actually for command. Actually, I guess all the command planets are pretty occupied at the moment, and I'm going to get to buy the Slith Mercenary, so. Meh. So moving on, I've got another Heretic. That's interesting because you can put it Ossus, but it doesn't really do anything. I've got a Warbrick, so that could maybe allow me to win the game a little earlier because I could. Never mind, what am I saying? It doesn't allow me to do anything actually. Well, maybe it will do something. We'll have to see. Is there anything I can do? No, there isn't. Okay. Whatever. He plays an Archon's Palace, so I'm personally of the opinion that Archon's Palace is not a good card that you should not be including in your decks. But on the other hand, I'm also of the opinion that there's just not that many good cards you want to be including in your decks, in which case Archon's Palace is fine. So my reason for Archon's Palace not being very good is that because, what is it, you're going to deny your opponent 2 cards most of the time. And this is actually one of the situations where I would say that Archon's Palace is a net loss. Granted, he has already drawn Archon's Palace, so if you've drawn it and you don't have anything to spend your money on, you may as well play it. But here I think it is a net loss because I am going to either win the command struggle or Eliwith, in which case he will deny me the 2 cards with Archon's Palace, but if he does that, then that means that he's also not getting the 2 cards from Eliwith by sending his ward there to win the command struggle, so he's not getting the 2 cards from it. And if he does send his ward to Elif to get the 2 cards from it, then that means he can't use Archon's Palace to deny me 2 cards, so he'll only be denying me a single card of Archon's Palace, which is just a bad deal. He could have played a Chaos Fanatics for the same cost, in which case he would have gained 1 card, 1 resource, and denied me 1 card, 1 resource. Theoretically, anyway. Right now, in this particular situation, yes, it happens that I have 11 resources and nothing to spend on. Well, actually, I do have something to spend more on, as Inj's Firestorm, but that's neither here nor there. So yes, there we go. That's just me thinking Archon's Palace. Not particularly good, but it's perfectly fine anyway. He doesn't really have anything else he can do here. So I'm going to play a Heretic. Let's see what he does. He sends it to first planet. Well, that's fine by me. And he passes, so that's great for me. I can just buy his mercenary over and over. Well, actually, he can't even buy his mercenary back because I've bought it once. So now on to the next bit. So either he's going to go to Welrith or he's going to go to Plan. There's no point for him going to Iridio or Ossus. Well, he could go to Ossus to get Civ mercenary money, but I'm going to easily beat him at Ossus. What else is there? He was not going to go to Iridio because he's going to get Civ Activated stranded and he needs to try to get some value out of it. I could go to Iridio. I think going to Iridio is the correct move here, even though it's a little sad. I think really I should just be going to Eliwith here because he's going to want to send his ward to Eliwith to get 2 cards. In which case, yeah. And then I need to send my ward there to prevent him from getting 2 cards. He'll use Arcus Palace to prevent me from getting any cards. But that's fine because I just have more stuff than him right now. I'm winning most of the command struggles. Yeah, I should be going to Eliwith there, but we'll see in the replay if I actually sent my ward. Oh, I did go to Eliwith. Oh. Maybe I'm just bad at this game. Well, at least I had the same fortresses before. Yeah, I should have just. Well. Yeah, so here I've really scuppered myself into Archon's Palace here, because now he's going to get to deny me the 2 cards when I didn't need to do this. I could have just sent my ward to Iridia or something. Granted, if I send my ward, send my ward to Iridia, I'm going to get not getting any infantry. Whatever. It's fine. If I yeah, I was just trying to predict where his ward is going to go as the issue hand. Unfortunately, I've got it wrong, but that happens. Sometimes you can't always get it right. So moving on to battles. Actually, no, it's Archon's Palace time. So yes, to cancel my cards. So no cards for me, 1 card for him. And I am mucking up playing around Archon's Palace here, but here's what it is. Also, Spore Trigger, I get to steal money. So that'll make his Sith Mercenary even harder to buy or recover. I can Eluith. Oh dear. So I have seen 2 Gleeful Plague Beast in my Eluith. And that means, since those are the only 2 in my deck, one of them is going to the bottom of the deck. So I need to make sure that when I have this 1 Gleeful Plague Beast in my hand, because that's the only thing I can really take here, I need to make absolutely certain that it doesn't die, because if it does die, I'm going to be out of a good way of dealing with his hordes of chimeras. He attacks. Indeed. Planum, I don't know if he really has anything good to plan on. He is going to solo the Vetus to Ivan though, which is completely fine by me. I have Zinch's Firestorm who's ready to Zinch him. What do I play here? I've drawn a huge mine, so I may as well play a huge mine, which is good. And also, unfortunately, now we've got a case where Eliath and Barnes win the game. So this is where I go from Archon's Palace is not a good card to Archon's Palace is one of the best cards in the game, because now he's going to get to send his ward to Eliath and get all the cards from there, and then he would deny me the cards from Barnes with Archon's Palace. Or maybe somehow I win both of them, in which case he'll just get to deny me 2 cards anyway. So this is a case where, yes, Archon's Palace is really good. Oh well. And I was also playing into Archon's Palace the previous round, and I really shouldn't have been, but it's fine. Incubus Warrior to Barlas, I can probably send my ward there. He's probably going to send his ward to anyway, but it's fine. Buy a Swift Mercenary, since I may as well just do that. That's a Solarite Vetus with a Agonizer Brent, that gives it +1 attack for every Chimera he controls, but I've got Thinch's Firestorm, so I'm just going to blow it up before it can possibly make any attacks. That, and I actually really like what he's played Agonizer Brent here, because that means he doesn't have a free shield card, so I can spend less money on Thinch's Firestorm, because I won't need to worry about playing around Agonizer Brent. The Gleeful Plague Beast to Ivan, sacrifice Spin to Path, because no need to have it die to the Gleeful Plague Beast trigger or something, and I need money in order to be able to buy the mercenaries off him. Passes the deploy phase. So here, what I want to do is send my ward to Barlas in order to get the 2 cards from there. But the problem is that I'll be stranding my Black Legion Helldraper. Now that's not that bad, because this game is going to go pretty long and I'm probably going to get a Planum trigger at some point, so it's okay for me if that happens. But it's also still not great. So I think I send the Chaos Fanatics there. I do think it's wrong for me to send the Chaos Fanatics there. I think it is better for me to put the Chaos Fanatics on a radio, send my ward to Barlas. But it's still fine. Grandy's probably going to send his ward to Eluith, in which case I get the 2 cards on there anyway. Blech. So, moving on. Oh, right, basically committing whoops. So, where was I? I think it was just another case of one of us is going to go to Planum, one of us is going to go to Eliath. So he went to Eliath last time, so I think this time I'm going to go to Planum and hope that I catch him there, but unfortunately I've got it wrong again. He went to Eliath this time. It's probably okay though, because I have a bunch of guys here on Eliath, so I can whack his wand a bit. So I'm going to get no cards again. It is okay if I get no cards though, because he has Sliff Mercenaries, which I can buy. Actually, he doesn't have any Sliff Mercenaries in my portal, but it's more about the idea of Sliff Mercenaries. So the option I get to Gleeful Plague Priest. He saves for Chimera, which is fine. I'm going to... I have initiative here, so I get to attack before he does anything. And Chimera dies, that's fine. I basically got an extra shield out of his hand because of this. So next up, I'm going to just Firestorm him, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Spend 5 on it, I assume? Yeah, spend 5, which is exactly enough to guarantee it is going to die. So now he can do something, and he is going to do something. He's going to play Constera. So that's not Clayvex. Granted, Clayvex would be very expensive here, especially with potentially wanting to Clayvex me Eliwith or something. So I understand him not playing Clayvex, but also maybe he just doesn't have it. That, and while Ivan is helpful for winning the game, I don't think he's going to really need it to win the game. He's going to win the game just from having more stuff from me and things like that, rather than planet icons specifically. So moving on. Neither of us doing things, so it goes. Not every day that you see that, but it's funny when it happens. So what happened to you? I bought my mercs. That's probably fine. Because I'll just buy them back later. And I have my Promethean Mine, which is going to let me buy mercenaries back more. So here, he attacks with the Chimera instead of the Sliff mercenaries. Which is almost like he's trying to goad me into attacking the Sliff mercenaries, so that way I won't be able to buy them anymore. But I'm not going to fall for that. I'm going to attack his Warlord instead of the Chimera, because I know that I have... What is it? I have no mercy in the deck somewhere. So I want to threaten to be no mercying him at some point. Granted, might not draw it. I've only got one copy in my deck, but when I have such little card draw this game, just from actually we both have very little card draw this game, but he's certainly outplaying me on the commit, so he's getting more card draw because of that. But if in case I do draw it, I need to make sure that I'm able to make use of it. Kills a heretic, fine by me. He gets to use Eliwith, which is very annoying, but oh well. So, kill Chimera, not really much to say about it. I get to use Planum. So, move Heretic to Iridial. So, I understand why I'm doing that. I'm doing that because I want to buy a Sliff Mercenary Eliwith over and over again in order to just waste his money. Granted, with that said, I do think that I'm going to struggle in order to actually keep hold of the mercenary because he has more actions than me next round just due to having more cards in his hand. So it's going to rely a lot on what I draw during this headquarters phase. Well, I drew another Zenith's Firestorm and I did draw my No Mercy, but those aren't really the cards that I was hoping to see here. I was hoping for some command units, but they're still pretty good. It's just going to make things a little tricky. Chimera Masters to Radio, that's completely fine by me. Biosliff Mercenary. He plays Raid, that's very annoying, but nothing I can really do about it. I have to pass now, so he's going to get to Biosliff Mercenary back. Chimera Masters to Barless, he's really managing to win all the command struggles at this point. So committing again. I think here I'm just going to send my ward to Eliwith because I get a Gleeful Plague Beast trigger and it's kind of it really. There's 2 cards there. I can maybe go send his ward to Iridial to heal. Certainly could be a case, but if he actually does send his ward to heal, then I'm going to actually kill him with no mercy. So yeah, unpleasant one. I definitely don't think he's going to bar us. I think I'm just going to early fight. Yeah, I think so. Oh, he went to Planum. Very interesting. So that means he's going to get a lot more cards with me, but he's also really struggling to actually use those cards for anything, because while he is getting a lot of cards, he's not going to be able to play these cards, so he has to keep buying mercenaries with them. So I could have bought the Sliff mercenaries during the command phase here, however I think it's better for me to just not do that, because I think there's a very real chance if I do that, then he's going to play Clavix War Leader or something. Actually, he doesn't have any money for Clavix War Leader, so what do I know? Yeah, I think I need the money just to be able to buy Zinch's Firestorm later, but it's not easy. Anyway, that's it. He's taking an action, apparently. He's thinking about it. He Archons Terrors the Black Legion Heldrake, so that's perfectly fine by me. Because, well, it is a shame whereas it's not going to be able to whack him a bit more Planum. I am very comfortable with being able to use being able to bring the Heldrake to radio or something. That and winning. I mean, at Planum, he's just going to kill a Sith Mercenary. And, well, yeah, then I'm out of Sith Mercenaries to buy. I think I've done enough economic damage to him. Money-wise, it doesn't really matter. Maybe? I don't know. It's a very, very tough situation here. Because the Gleeful Plague Beast is the main thing I'm trying to keep alive. And, yeah, he's denied me, what is it? He's denied me taxing him more. Like, I think 2 resources off of this Mercenary again. But it's just that he spent 2 resources and a card on that Archon's Terrant. That's just it's just a lot of value to use on that. He does get a plan on trigger. He doesn't have much he can do with it. So we're gonna go on to me winning the Elwith. What do I get? Well, these are 3-0 cards. Garden Pillage does nothing because there's no Sith Mercenaries left. Promise of Glory doesn't really do anything, and even if it did, I'm probably gonna get my Gleeful Plague Beast to fire and kill them. And Ecstatic Siege also does nothing because he's already played Agonizer Brand. I suspect he doesn't have a single other attachment in his deck. That was 3-0, so I guess we'll just take the Promise of Glory. It could be 2 resources maybe if I draw another Heldrake. But it's basically just a dud. So, am I going to use Promise of Glory here as a shield? No. I think that's fine. I need all the shields. I will need all the shields I can get later on anyway. So, here, he cannot win even if he captures both Planum and the radio. So I could just set up on Varlas here, and I should eventually win the game. However, I also really don't want him to just keep gathering up chimeras and gather chimeras and potentially play Chimera Den to move all his chimeras to Barlas from Iridio to Barlas after the Plague Wreath is fired. So don't really want to do it, but also don't really want to let him get more cards. But on the other hand, Barlas as well, the cards are. Archon Spence can actually be really good here because we're just down to a very small number of planets. I just need to keep on tying command struggles up, and eventually I will win, just because I have a Gleeful Plague Beast and a Heldrake, and he still has to have an answer to the Heldrake, even though I know he is playing Dark Eldar Kith, so he's got Playmax and stuff. But time is running out on him to find some answers, and he does keep spending his answers on temporary solutions. Promethean Mine, massive value. Got second Zinch's Firestorm, so it's a good thing I played this Promethean Mine, because now I can afford Zinch's Firestorms. I've drawn a Void Power, doesn't really do anything here, but it can potentially tax him something. Play a Void Power to Radio, because there's a good chance to send my ward to Radio. And he plays his Siren Zyflex to Planum, probably suspecting that I have an elite of some kind or something. Unfortunately, I don't. On the other hand, this is a disastrous move by him, because unless he has a raid, even if he does have raid, so I suspect that he's going to send his ward to either Radio in order to heal or Barlas in order to predict me going to try to get cards. So I don't really think. I think he's just going to send his ward to do a Radio to heal. I don't think there's any world where he sends his ward to Planum, because if I send my ward to Planum, he's going to lose all stuff. And maybe. I don't know. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that if he raids me and then I send my water plan when he doesn't send his water plan, then he is going to be down to 3 resources when we get to the combat phase, which is not enough to buy a Clavix. In which case, my Black Legion Heretic could be going unchallenged once again unless he specifically plays a third Archon's Terror. And I don't think there's any world where he's going to actually play a third Archon's Terror because he has. Because there's just too much. What is it? Damage on my cards here. Let's do Temporary Resolution. Even if he plays an Archon's Terror, I'm going to still win the battle anyway, probably. Of course, he doesn't know that I have an Archon's Terror and 2 Zinch's Firestorms in my hand, so who knows? But I certainly don't think it's likely he's going to do it, so what am I going to do here? I think, actually, I'm going to play a Zinch's Firestorm with 5 resources to kill with Siren's effects, because that way, even if he does send his board to plan and he plays a raid, he is not going to have the command in order to win the command struggle there, unless he specifically played a rogue trader, and I've already seen 2 of them. So yes, I think playing Zinch's Firestorm here is the correct move. And I do that. Yep. I do think it's slightly unnecessary to do that because chances are he's going to it's not going to send his ward to Planum anyway, in which case it's a little bit worthless, but it's still fine. And we have a Chimera then, so that's a little bit annoying. But on the other hand, I have been keeping the Chimera population low, or trying to at least, throughout the game, so it's still okay. Base promotion to radio is very annoying, but that's, what can you do? So passing. So where's he going to send his ward? If he sends his ward to Planum, I'm going to bloody his ward. So, well, probably anyway. Actually, I'm not definitely going to bloody his ward because I've only got. Well, he doesn't know that I don't have an Infernal Gateway into his Alpha Streams or something. So as far as he's concerned, from where he's looking, it definitely looks like I could bloody his warlord. That and if he doesn't even have any money anyway. He's only got a single resource. So if he plays a raid, I mean, it's fine, but it's he'll then be able to play an Archon's Terror, but he's just so poor at the moment, he can't play any of the cards that he needs to play. Even though Chimera Den's good here, he can't really use it, because if he sends all his Chimeras over to Planum now, when I send my ward to Planum, then when I inevitably win the battle there, they're going to go back to the HQ, in which case they'll have to go to Iridial, because I'll be winning the game on Iridial. Because if he sends his ward to Bars instead, his ward won't be there, he'll be missing. Actually, he could send his ward to Barless. Yeah, that's what he would do. He would send. But if he sends his ward to Bars from anywhere to HQ, then the Kais will be surviving exhausted, and that will definitely give me enough time to kill them before, because there's just not that many of them here. Yeah, so I think the Chimera Den is probably a mistake here. You really need more. Actually, the Simon's Ziplex was a mistake. Let's be very clear here. This was the mistake because it costs too much and he needs that money to play his Clavexes and Arcostos. Of course, maybe he just has no Arcostos and Clavexes in hand. To be fair, he did spend 2 of them, so it's always a possibility. But yeah, I think it's just that which I disagree with you. Okay, anyway, he's winning the command struggles anyway. I'm not going to go to Iridial because I'm going to need to win the battle Planum, I think. And I can now guarantee that I win the battle Planum because ItsDrake will make it very easy for me to win that battle. So he goes to Iridial, that's perfectly fine by me because I'll be able to move back to ItsDrake over to Iridial and then heal someone when I win the battle there. He denies me a card again. So Archon's Palace, even though I'm a big Archon's Palace non-believer, I have to admit, it's done quite a lot this game. Usually it doesn't, well, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. So Gleeful Plague resfires, kills a Chimera. So he's using a 2 shield card to save it, so I could use Zarathur, but there's no point because Zarathur can just attack anyway. I get to swing, and I'm really knocking the shields out of his hand here. That's two shields gone, 4 shields down. He's only got 6 cards left, and I can't imagine these are all going to be shields. Some of them are going to be Clavexes or Chimera Masters we just can't afford right now. Attacks me. I'm going to shield once for Promise of Glory. Because Promise of Glory isn't doing anything here, and I need to try to keep my 2 shield cards around. So he's using the Chimera Den. Perfectly fine by me. Now I can Zinch's Firestorm one of them. I overpay by 1 here because I forget that I'm playing Zarathur, so I need to pay for 2 there, but I pay 3. It's not a big problem because the Promethean Mine has been giving me enough money to be able to make silly mistakes like this and get away with it. the attacks, but I'm going to be able to play Warbrift as a shield. He definitely doesn't have any things left. I suppose I should have played Warbrift first to play around No Mercy in order to shielded this one with Warbrift and then shielded Siege Firestorm if he did play in. Actually, I don't have a. I don't have a 2 shield card. Okay, no, it doesn't matter. So I thought he was going to hit me with No Mercy and I would die. Or he didn't, so whatever. So combat round ends, so I just need to retreat both for Gleeful Plague Beast. This one's important because it is the way that I win the battle at Iridium. And I just need to retreat Zarathur just because he's a good guy. I actually keep Zarathur around for 1 round though because I'm trying to bait him into staying in order to get to kill Chimera so he doesn't have a chance to possibly shield him or something. Perhaps he does, perhaps he plays Doombolt or something. He is allied with Chaos after all, so he could have Doombolt even though it is very unlikely. Maybe even has... Never mind, he probably doesn't have anything. I can't think of any cards which actually let him deal damage to me at this point, aside from Doombolt, so let's assume he doesn't have anything. What else is there? Yeah, that's just that. Zarathur Helldrake is attacked. We'll just skip through this as it's pretty clear who's going to win. So he doesn't retreat his guys, so that suggests he doesn't have a way to deal with Gleeful Plague Beast. He's just going to try to get some value out of the Chimeras by using them to kill my Helldrake, or attack my Helldrake rather. But even though if he does do this, I'm going to heal my ward anyway because chances are he's just going to Clayvex to Helldrake, because if he doesn't Clayvex to Helldrake, then he's leaving a Helldrake on the board, which is very spooky. It's a 4 health Helldrake too, so there's not really a point in him trying to kill that. There would be at least 4 Chimera attacks, not counting shields. So yeah, he just has to Clayvex it, and that's kind of it. So get to Iridio, he's going to have to retreat his ward here, and I'm going to whack him. Resolve battle ability, heals Zarathur. So now we've come to the last round. Drawn a useless Gut and Pillage, and also drawn a Chaos Max, which is good because he'll survive the inevitable self-blowing up with the Gleeful Plague Beast. He knocks out the Archon's Terror from my hand with Murder Wave as well, so that's really bad, but I should be okay anyway, because even if I don't win the battle here, as long as the Gleeful Plague Beast survives, I'll get to win the game regardless anyway. So he passes, he has 4 money, you know what he's going to play, a funny Clayvex. Archon's Pass is going to deny me a card again, but cards don't really do anything for me at this point because I'm just going to use them for shield. Cards don't really do anything for him either because I just do too much damage for shielding to be worth it. Plague Beast fires. Whacks me a lot, but it's fine. So he's playing Clayvex. He has to play something, either moves to Chimeras over, or he plays Clayvex, so in which case I'll be able to attack anyway, so he may as well use the Clayvex on the Helldrake. It dies since I don't have Backlash. That's because I'm not running Backlash. I attack him. I get to No Mercy him. Actually, he doesn't even have a 2 shield card in his hand. He played a Pact for him as a shield. I think I returned that to his hand, didn't I? Yes, I did, so that's fine. Maybe it's a little mean to return it to his hand when he makes a mistake, but I think he was just forgetting about Zarathur, so it is what it is. I'm not really a big etiquette knower. Anyway, so what's he gonna do with these Chimeras? Kill Fanatics. Now I'm just going to attack him for 2 of reward. It dies. And even if he did have a 2 shield card, this one wouldn't matter because I've got No Mercy. And they win the game. Good job, me. So yes, very, very tough game there. I messed up my ward commits a lot on Eliwith and Planum there, just over and over again, because I was trying to predict where he goes, and each time I got him wrong. But on the other hand, the first time commit was pretty bad by him, because he went to Ivan and I got a free Helldrake out of it, so he basically let me trick Ivan. So tough game for him, tough game for me. It definitely could have gone his way from the first round there, because he could have just played If he'd played his unit, if he'd played around Sowing Chaos there and I didn't get a Sowing Chaos trigger, boof, could have been extremely difficult for me because there would have been 6 command units. So much command, just phenomenal, incredible amounts of command. But Gleeful Plague Beast has kept me alive. It's also a bit lucky for me that, yeah, let's have a look. So he's drawn 10 more cards than me throughout this game, which is probably because of, not entirely because of Archon's Palace. It's mostly because he was just winning. He just had more command units than me. I kept drawing my Siege's Firestorms and stuff when I would have really liked to get some extra command units there, but he was having difficulties drawing command units during that second round. I was having difficulties drawing command units later on. But then again, you don't really need command units later on, but still would have been nice. Okay, what else is there? I think that's it. What else is there to talk about? Or just go. Yeah, Zinch's Firestorms massively helping me this game. Once again, I've seen another case where you just don't play Agonizer. I know it's a decent card. In fact, it can even be a really good card, like on Soulblight of Etis, as we saw. But it's just in this matchup particular, it's not very good. Of course, it doesn't. He can't know to have Zinch's Firestorm in my hand, a bit like how I can't know whether or not he's got all his Archon's Towers and stuff in his hand, or 6 command units turn 1. It's just how the game is. Anyway, overall, very good game by him. Very good game by me. And that means that I ended the tournament with 4 wins and 0 losses. So good job, me. And I was the only person running the huge mine. So this is once again a great showing that the huge mine provides huge value. It allows you to win the game. Now, of course, you could just say, oh, it's all these old fellas, they're washed. They're old and no longer remember how to play the game well. Something like that, maybe. Well, I'm sure he doesn't remember how to play the game well. It's more just rust. But still, I'm going to chalk this up to Promethean Mine because you have to give a Promethean Mine. You have to give the Promethean Mine wins whenever you can. Anyway, and it didn't have any Venomous Fiends. That was interesting because I'm a big. Did he have any Chaos units? I don't see any Chaos units. Maybe he didn't have any Chaos cards. Huh, maybe not. Well, I assumed he was playing Chaos. I vaguely remember. Maybe he just didn't draw them. Anyway, doesn't really matter. He apparently had no Chaos cards, whatever. Just Dark Elder. Maybe he was playing Elder. Maybe I just don't know anything. Anyway, I'm what was I saying? I was saying a Venomous Fiend. I'm a big Venomous Fiend, like, and wish I could include Venomous Fiend in my Chaos decks, but unfortunately, Venomous Fiend is one of those ally only cards, more or less. No Venomous Fiend for me, but I would have definitely liked to see a Venomous Fiend from him. Would have been cool. But anyway, that's that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.